It's a real thing now.
Oh yeah, big fish. We the ones that you wanna get
Hey,
rich.
dude,
Took a couple
what?
L's, rung a couple bells, real ones. Took
Grand
us to the
Rising,
point
good
sad
people.
like
Grand Rising,
Christ
good people. As you're
Judas.
joining, please make sure that you like, subscribe.
See a
A
nice
little
little
too much
ting
of
with
that
the
on there.
suha. See a
Please make
nice
sure that
good,
you like,
yeah.
subscribe. Y'all know what it is. What we got? We got Uncompetitive in the building. Belated happy birthday. Shout out to Uncompetitive. Shout out to Big Bro Steve. Shout out to the homies, man. Shout out to the homies. Good Monday morning, family. Hope everyone had a good weekend. One love always. Everyone's. What's up, Unc? As you're joining, and make sure. And Unc, I saw that post that you just or that you had sent over. We should definitely touch on that. We should definitely touch on that. But hold on, time out. It is an amazing day. It's Monday. All right, what day is it? It's June 9th. All right. There's 9,000 people in the chat right now, or 9,000 people viewing right now on June 9th. And I got some great information for y'all. Elon and Trump are back. Elon and Trump are back. I spoke to Elon this morning. I spoke to Trump last night. They're back. They're good. They're on solid terms. Trump is still a little bit like, bro, you bugged out. You disrespected me in a way that, I can't, we ain't there, but we're back moving in the right direction. Trump understands that Elon's a little bit, I wanted to say, can't use that word anymore. Okay. Elon's a little bit different. He's a little bit different in how he communicates, but Trump understands that. Elon just had a little bit of I don't even know what you would call it. He just had a moment. But he's back. We're good. So I just wanted to let y'all know that so y'all can put y'all trust and faith back into Tesla stock. Oh, once again, I'm not a financial advisor, so please do not take this as financial advice. It's not. It's just me clowning around a little bit. But when you look at the big picture and you look at the trends, and I looked at what Robinhood or what Tesla stock is doing the last hour, it looks like it's going to be a great day. Shout out to iRock in the building. Shout out to iRock. Grand Rising, Mama Lay. Grand Rising, Mama Lay. All right, so we got a lot to discuss today. And what did Unc write? And we do commercials now. If you're interested in commercials, please let us know in the bio. All right, yeah, we got to tap in. We got to definitely tap in. All right, so what do we got on the agenda for today? So we got a couple icebreakers. One, we're going to break down Instagram post that I think Shy sent over. We'll dig into that. We got Coco Riley. She beat a girl or beat a lady in the French Open. I think it was the French Open. And we're going to see what a sore loser looks like. And we're going to see what a classy woman looks like. So we're going to take a look at that. We got a fired professor. I think Cuzzo sent this post over where a professor got fired. And then he gave the... So a professor got fired, and then I think he gave the kids some type of technology that allows them to, I don't know, find out all the answers to the test. I don't know. We'll take a look at that, laugh a little bit. Then Corinne Jean-Pierre, we were supposed to watch this video on Friday, but we got to take a look at this. She decided to leave the Democratic Party. She put out a book. It seems like this is the new wave. This is the new thing where people that align with liberals, people that align with the Democrats, they convince us one thing, right? For the last 4 years while Joe Biden's in office. Then when they get out, they try to profit on the fact that whether it's Jake Tapper making a book saying that, oh my God, we were lied to, the media lied to us, even though he's a part of the media, or it's Corinne Jean-Pierre saying now that she's independent and she's not a part of the Democratic Party and now going to be coming out saying a whole bunch of this stuff. It just seems very much like matter of fact, isn't that what they call grifter? That's what they call grifter. I think I'm using the term the right way. Then we're going to get into this Riley Gaines versus Simone Biles situation. Can't wait to touch on that with y'all and get y'all opinion. Then we have CNN, small little CNN clip. And I think it just sets the tone or gives perspective on how we see America. And in my opinion, some of the issues and challenges that we face in America just by having different perspectives on what the government should do. More from a, let's say, communist standpoint to what would people, what's the less a libertarian standpoint? That's the word that I was looking for. Libertarians who believe that the government should have as least involvement in citizens' lives compared to the communism ideology that is obviously more government control. All right, then after that, we get into Elon versus Trump, and we're going to talk about these LA riots. They are brewing a race war. They are brewing a race war. In my opinion, they have the same professionals that they use, the professional rioters that they use with Black Lives Matter, that they use at all these damn protests in which they're trying to emotionalize us and trying to just get us to crash out and remove all logic and excuse all types of behavior and rationalize burning down a city. It's like we've seen this story play out before. And I guess now Trump sent in, I believe, the Coast Guard. So people are upset with that. But it's like, what do you expect like Trump to do? Like if the mayor of LA can't handle the riots, if the governor of California, what's the mayor's Karen Bass, the governor's Gavin Newsom, if he can't handle it, who do you expect to handle it? You got to call Big Bro. You got to call Big Bro, and don't be mad when you call Big Bro when Big Bro comes in walking like Big Bro. It just is what it is. All right, so we got a lot to discuss. Let's do, what's the first icebreaker that we have? What is the first icebreaker that we shall get into? All right, let's look at this post. All right, so this was from Shy. Shy sent this over. I thought it was a dope post. I thought it was funny. And I think it's a good example for us to learn from. Hold on one second. Where's the, oh, they removed the post. Hold on. No. Ma, can you resend it? The one with the cat? The cats, the lady, the cat surgery? No, it's in the OG network one. Oh. Yeah, good luck. Good luck. All right, I got my assistant here. She's getting on that. All right. So in the meantime, we'll go to the other icebreaker first, and then we'll get into that. So if you are familiar with Coco Riley is a tennis player. She's young. She's regarded as, Coco Riley. Sorry, I'm on Riley Gaines. My fault. I'm on my girl Riley because Riley is standing on business. But let me just give all due attention to Coco Gauff. So Coco Gauff, dope tennis player. She's regarded as or seen as the next Venus or Serena. Why? Because she's just a good black tennis player. That's just how it goes. You start to, oh, you're the next this, you're the next that. She plays nothing like Serena, in my opinion. Maybe a little bit like Venus, but she's not, in my opinion, as just gifted and dominant as an athlete, strong, fast, powerful as Serena. But she gets stuff done. There's no but. She just has her own way of getting stuff done. And she won the French Open, had a dope tournament. And actually, I saw Maya showed me that she wrote out in 2020 that she would win the French Open. She had these positive affirmations. So that aligns with a lot of the things that we discuss on here. Putting stuff down, writing it on paper, and it's 43% more likely to happen. I think it's 43 or 42. We'll go 43. More likely to happen. So all these different things. And she won the French Open. And this is the lady, Ariana Sabalenka, who she beat. And this is a lesson for all the kids and for us adults. Hey, what's up, Shy? I see you in the building. Shy, can you resend the Can you resend the post that you sent over on the cat versus the spending the money on the cat surgery or spending the money on the house? We can't, it's not in the group chat anymore. So maybe they deleted it, but it's all good. I'll try to find it on YouTube or something, if you can. All right, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. The assistant should just be saying I'm on it, right? All right, she can't find. Okay. Shy, if you can, please. But what were we talking about? All right, so let me show you this video on Coco. And first, I guess we'll show the video on her opponent. This is how to not handle yourself. This is what not, or taking, I don't know. This is just what bad sportsmanship looks like. So let's take a look at this and you guys tell me what your thoughts are.
match really well. You led 4-1. What happened at 4-1? Do you think that Coco got better or the conditions got tougher?
Yeah, I think it was more windy and got more windy, and also I think I was over emotional, and I think today I didn't really handle myself quite well mentally, I would say. So basically that's it. I was just making unforced errors. Like, I don't know, I have to check the statistics. I think she won the match not because she played incredible, just because I made all of those mistakes from, like, if you look from the outside, kind of like from an easy balls.
Corny. Corny, corny, corny. She won the match not because she did well, but because I did bad. Man, it's the same thing. I mean, I understand that you've been in these competitions where you feel as if, oh, I didn't give my best game. I didn't play my best game against this particular person. So therefore, I want to make them feel, I just want to let them know that it's not that you did well, but it's just that I didn't play up to my best. That's corny. Celebrate the person, appreciate the person, and maybe understand that maybe the reason why you didn't have such a good game, the reason why you may have felt like you were just off and didn't play your best, give the other person credit for that. Give the other person credit for that. You can say, like, I had an off day, such and such took advantage of it, or I just felt like off the entire time, such and such took advantage of it. And perhaps that's, part of Coco's game, her taking advantage of every mistake that I made. That put more pressure on me and made me make those mistakes even more. I got more emotional, all these different things, but it's just corny. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. When you lose, just be like, you have to be humble in defeat, in my opinion. There should be no back and forth about, oh, well, it just makes you look bad. It makes you look like a sore loser.
But is it harder because it's the final of a Grand Slam? I mean, these events are so much bigger than
Yeah, that
else.
hurts. I mean, especially when you've been playing really great tennis during the whole week. You've been playing against a lot of tough opponents, Olympic champion, Iga, and then you go out and you play really bad. Like, I don't know, I think if Iga would win me another day, I think she would go out today and she would get the win. It just, like.
So she's trying to say that she played how she normally plays against the girl before she played against Coco. And that if the girl who she beat before, the girl Iga, would have beaten her, then that girl would have beaten Coco. Just trying to disrespect Coco and act like she's not her. Cool. Let's keep going.
Yeah, it just hurts. Honestly, it hurts. Like, been playing really well, and then in the last match, go out there and perform like I did. That hurts.
Yeah, well, that's life. You took a L, you lost. Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to lose. It is what it is. This was corny. Her response, corny in my opinion. But listen, I want y'all to take a look at this. Listen to Coco's response. Watch her. This is how you handle winning with class.
When Arena sat here, she said that she thinks if Iga had won her, she wins the thing today because of how the match turned up. Do you think the way you play today, you beat anyone? It doesn't matter who's on the other side of the net?
She said if I play Iga in the final.
She said that if we go, she didn't mention exactly winning you, but she said if Iga won me, she would win the thing.
I mean, I don't agree with that. I'm here sitting here, and last time I played, no, like to Iga or anything, but I played her and I won in straight sets. So, yeah, I don't think that's a fair thing.
I played her. So the same girl that she's talking about, if Iga would have beaten her, then she would have beat Coco, either one of them, even though she lost to Coco and she's number one ranked in the world. Like, you're number one, I would assume, for a reason. You just took a loss. It is what it is. How does Coco respond? Yeah, well, actually, I would have rather played Iga. Now, she said it in a respectful way, but this is what I took from it. I would have rather played Iga. Like, stop playing with me. I already cleared her out in straight sets last time. Like, stop playing with me. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. This is what a classy response looks like.
To say, because anything can really happen. And yeah, honestly, I mean, the way Irina was playing the last few weeks, she was the favorite to win. So I think she was the best person that I could have played in the final. Her being number one in the world, she was the best person to play. So I think I got the hardest matchup just if you go off stats alone. Obviously, Iga being a champion here, it was going to be a tough match either way. But yeah, I think regardless of who I played, I think I had a good shot to win, and I definitely had that belief. And if you ask me, like, honestly speaking to you guys, who I wanted to play, it was Ika, just because I felt Irina was playing so good, and she was. So, but also,
This is so dope. It's smart too. Yeah, gas her up. Gas her up too. Gas her up like you were playing so well. Like you look so good. And then I beat you.
so Ika is a tough opponent too. So honestly, neither of them would have been a better shot, but you know, it played out how it played out, and yeah, that's why I'm here today.
Yeah, you did well anyway.
Thanks.
I love it. All right, so let's go back to the post that I was talking about with this was a rough one. This was a rough one. Shout out to Big Bro Doug. And yeah, please make sure y'all like and subscribe. I'm feeling good about today. I'm feeling good about today. Great about today. What's up, Big Bro Doug? All right, so I need all the fellas. As a matter of fact, I need all the ladies. I need everybody to pay attention to this one. I need y'all to pay attention to this one. So this was sent. Blame Shy. No. This was dope. Give credit to Shy. I'm just going to play the video. Matter of fact, let me just stop talking. I'm going to play the video. I'm going to play it all the way through, and then we'll go back and we'll respond to it. I'm going to try to make it all the way through. All right.
We've been married for 3.5 years, and we just welcomed our first baby 6 months ago. I work construction, and my wife stays home with the baby. But yeah, I'm the one bringing in the paycheck. For the last 2 years, I've been saving every extra dollar for house down payment. Anyway, we've managed to stash about $21,000. It's not a fortune, but for us, it's huge. So here's where everything kind of went sideways. Our cat, turns out he's got this aggressive cancer on his jaw. Vet says they can try a surgery and chemo combo that might buy in time, but it's 17 grand up front and no promise. My wife loves that cat and wants to go all in for the treatment. Technically, we do have 21K, but that's the whole house fund. And even if the surgery works, the vet said recovery's rough. We'd need more follow-up visits, meds, maybe another procedure, could be thousands more. I tried to explain the math. You know, if we spend it, we reset the clock on the house. Now she barely talks to me. So yeah, I don't know what to do. I love my wife. I love our baby. Heck, I even love the cat, but I also dreamed of handing her house keys this time next year. We've been married for 3.5 years.
Man. Decisions. All right. So at first, and I think I let we got the group chat in the OG network. I let them know my emotions are first. My initial emotions. I got to keep it real. When I'm hearing this, fuck that cat. Yo, I'm sorry for all the cat lovers, for all the dog lovers, for all the pet lovers. I said that was my initial reaction. When Maya said, I'm glad we're on the same page. So this is wrong. This is a cat's life, though. This is an animal's life. Y'all know how I feel. Look, I'm an animal lover. I've never had a dog or a cat. So maybe I don't understand the bond. I know that a lot of families look at their dogs and cats as family members. However, I'm pretty sure that if the choice came down to who we need to feed, our kids or the family dog or the family cat, I would hope that, or I would think that it would be common sense. We got to prioritize the kids. Now, that brings up a question. Notice I said if the choice was to feed the kids or the dog or the cat. Now, when it comes to feeding the husband, when it comes to feeding the man, I think that it would change a little bit. And hear me out on this. See, these are the decisions. The reason why I got emotional hearing this, not because it was such a sad story, to be totally honest with y'all, regarding the cat. That's not why I got emotional. I got emotional because I'm like, damn, men have to make some of the most difficult decisions Men have to make the decisions where, you know, instead of being a win-win, it is a lose-lose. It is a lose-lose because she loves that cat. She probably loves that cat or likes that cat, perhaps maybe more than she likes her husband. Just being honest. That's just I have nothing. I've just watched the same video as y'all. So maybe I'm putting a little bit extra on it, but this is the takeaway that I got when I'm watching it. This man now has to make a decision where, let's say that he sits down and talks to her and says, "Hey, babe, we got to sit down. We got to talk about this." You know, even just saying that, talk about what? There's nothing to talk about. Y'all know how this convo is gonna go. There's nothing to talk about. The cat needs surgery. This cat is a member of our family. Forget the house. Forget that. Well, let's just look at it and just fix the surgery. It may not even go well. And even if it goes well, there's going to be a long recovery process. Well, then we'll figure out when we get there. So we're going to make a decision now not to do the surgery because of what it may cost. There's going to be a level of resentment, not only just with him bringing the conversation, but if he actually has, if he goes through with making the decision to say, you know what, we're not going to have that surgery, his wife will forever resent him. Forever, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. Now, if he goes, let's say, the other way and says, you know what, let's get the surgery, babe. I know how much this cat means to us, to you, to our family. Let's get the surgery and we'll figure out things later on. Now, this man just said that he's been scratching and clawing to save up $21,000. He's the only one bringing in money, and he's been saving for 2 years. If that cat has a surgery and it's going to need more money, a year from now, when he said that he was planning on presenting her keys to her dream house, to their dream house, a year from now, as soon as a house comes up, she's going to resent him, not only with the cat situation, the cat could be there. She's going to resent him for not having made more money to put away in addition to having the money for the cat fund, right? She's going to resent him for not making more money so that way, so we can't afford to take care of a pet and to have a house. Why? Because women have been convinced that they can have it all. And this is going to be a reoccurring theme in today's show. Women have been convinced that they can have it all. Now, even though I hear Maya over here, I'm pretty sure I understand where Shy would be at. Shy was on my time, like, man, forget her and the cat. But let's be honest. We know how people are with their pets. We know how certain people are with their pets, I should say. This man is in a situation that he probably can't recover from. And that is and actually, he's presented with a challenge that, in my opinion, answers a large majority of people's problems. Money. You got to just make more money. There's no other solution to this. You got to make more money. If you take on a pet, if you take on all these responsibilities, if you want to help, you got to just figure out a way to make more money, or you're going to be resented for it. It just is what it is. And does anybody disagree? Do I hear any disagreements? Anybody disagreeing? All right. I think we're good. But I really feel bad. Let me catch up with some of the comments real quick. So Unc wrote, a kitten probably cost you $45. Yeah. This is how, y'all are seeing how men think. Man, if you don't go get another cat, no, it's not the same, Unc. Unc, that cat is a member of the family. You can't just get another child. Well, debatable. All right, Unc wrote, I'm sorry. Under the circumstances, I had to pull that Farmer John thing out of the end of the barn and came back with a kitten. Yeah, we would have done like, you know how Meet the Parents, the first Meet the Parents? Oh my God. It's a broad statement about women, that women want it all. Yes, it's a broad statement, Mama Lay. We come on here and we make broad statements all the time. That's what we address, because the only way you can address an issue is by making broad statements. So and this is the thing, Mama Lay, please respond. I didn't hear you say that the statement was wrong. You wrote that it's a broad statement. Yes, it's a broad statement. If I said that black women are out of shape, would you say it's a broad statement, or would you say that's wrong? Yes, it's a broad statement, but is it wrong? If I said that black men need to be better leaders, is that a broad statement? Absolutely, it's a broad statement. But you know what else it's true? It's true for the majority of black men. The only way that we deal with minorities, if people want to solve, if you want to solve minority problems, then solve minority problems. What I try to focus on is what grabs the majority of people. And I understand, and this is just another example of when you say certain things that are true about a certain group of people, they get offended by it. I do not get offended if you say black men ain't this, black men ain't that, if I don't feel like I'm in that category. And if I do feel like I'm in that category, then I'll take the offense and I'll actually do something to improve in that area. We're seeing the issue. You're showing us the issue, Mama Lay. You're showing us the issue. let me see. Mama Lay wrote, they should have got pet insurance. It's really insane about a house versus a cat. It's unrealistic. No comparison. She's being selfish. I agree. But her selfishness, in my opinion, is created by the culture that we live in. It just is what it is. And hold on, let me see. Steve wrote, if that's an adult level decision that he had to make alone, I question his choice in life partners. You are 100% right, Steve. But just like with Dr. Umar, just like with the majority of divorces that we talk about, the majority of divorces that people go through, when you actually talk to them, you sit there and wonder like, oh, you didn't know any about this person before y'all got married. You didn't know that you couldn't stand A, B, and C, but the sex was just great before you got married. You didn't know that the dude was broke before you didn't know. And let me say, before I got married, before you had a kid with them, you didn't know all these things. So you're absolutely right, Steve. If that's an adult level decision that he had to make alone, I question his choice in life partners. The majority of people, that's why everybody's single. And I think what we're missing is the fact that we are simply not compatible. Like, we're not compatible. It doesn't matter if you train a whole bunch of, let's say you're training a basketball team and you train everybody to be a center. You don't train anybody to be a point guard. You don't train anybody to be the shooting guard. You don't train anybody to be a small forward or a power forward. You're just training people to be centers, no matter how tall they are. Now, if you get a whole bunch of centers and you're putting them and you're trying to make they're not compatible to play with each other as a team. We are not raised to be compatible with each other, in my opinion. So that we can sit here and say that we're making bad choices as life partners. When you look at overall, I mean, let's be real. When we have conversations with people and you ask people in their 25, let's say 25 to 45, why aren't you married? Why aren't you in a relationship? Why aren't you having kids? The majority give answers on both sides talking about why women ain't this, why men aren't this. It's very rarely, oh, I just need to just work on some stuff. I just need to become a better communicator. It's very rarely that. It's usually because of all the men or all the women. We are not compatible. We are raising women to be little dudes, and we're raising dudes to be feminized dudes, in my opinion. And it all circles back to that. We are not compatible. So we could sit here and say, you're 100% right, Steve, in my opinion, when it says it's his, I question his life in life choice and partners. But when you look at why most relationships aren't successful, I guess it's the same thing. At a certain point, we got to say, hey, maybe we can make better batches or make us more compatible on both sides. We can have better women, we can have better men, and then we'll have a greater likelihood of being more compatible with each other. Just my opinion. So Uncompetitive wrote, money isn't the problem. Marrying an irrational woman is the problem, and it isn't going away. She will want her sick elderly mother to move in with them when they get the house. All right, so I'm 100% with you. I'm 100% with you. However, in today's society, you're right. Money shouldn't be the problem. I think that's a better. Money shouldn't be the problem. But what do the majority of divorces, like what do people say the majority of divorces happen from? Money, right? Issues with money. Now you could say that, well, money's just the issue that ends up, taking it taking it to the next level, or that's the one that finally set me off to just say, you know what, I'm done with this. But money always seems to come up. Money always seems to come up. Why does money always seem to come up? Look at the world that we live in. We live in a comparison era, a comparison generation. Everything that we do. How many people already opened up their Instagrams today? It's 8:30. We can all agree that it's probably not healthy to jump on Instagram or social media before first thing in the morning. But what did we do? We already scrolled through 100 people's lives about how amazing their weekend was. And now we're comparing our lives to them. So living in a comparative generation or comparative society, when we're comparing each other, why this person can have that life, why that person can have that car, why this person can have this experience, why that can, it all comes down to money in our minds. So I get what you're saying. Money isn't the problem ideally, but it is. I mean, if you have kids, just like you have kids, you got to be able to afford to be able to support them, right? That puts a lot of strain on a relationship when you have kids and you can't afford to put food on the table. It's no different with the other things that we purchase, whether we're purchasing a cat or whether we're purchasing a new car. All right. Unc wrote, but women want it all. They get it all. And there's nothing that men will ever be able to do from the start of time that will change that grown, no matter what the pain is. Black men just need to be a better, yeah. No one can sum up all women or men. There's billions of women. Mama Lay. Nobody is summing up all women or all men. What we're speaking to, it's like, this is the difference. Hold on. When you are a leader of something, when you are leading a team, you have general rules for everybody, right? General rules on the team. You address things that if I'm telling you, if somebody's slacking in one particular area, the majority of coaches, everybody's going to run, because as a team, you win and lose based on everybody moving in the same direction. Team, when you have been in a team environment and you've played on team settings, then you understand, in my opinion, what I'm saying. When you address the majority, you addressed it. So let me ask you this, Mama Lay. Let me ask you this specific question. No one can sum up all women or men. Is it wrong for me to say that Black women are unhealthy? Is it wrong for me to say that Black women are out of shape? Is it wrong for me to say that? Now, what would be a good response? Would a good response be, and see, this is what happens when you have the pandering, emasculated men that we're raising compared to men that are willing to tell the truth and be honest. See, an honest man is going to say exactly what I just said. Yeah, Black women, we have an issue. You have an issue, which means we have an issue. You're out of shape. You're unhealthy. You're obese at higher rates than anybody else on the planet. We need to address it. You know what an emasculated man is going to say? Well, not all Black women. You can't sit here and say all Black. Well, the stats show that 60-something% are, compared to what, 10% of Asian women, 30% of white women, 40% of Hispanic women. But we can't sit here and this is crazy. Oh, now you got to say Black adults? Okay, so Black adult women. I'm sorry. Not No, it's different. And I'm glad that you just said that. Look at the difference between Black. So Maya just sat here and said, no, it's Black adults. It's not Black women. And it's not just Black women. Clearly, Maya wasn't paying attention to the show that we did 3 weeks ago, where we highlighted the statistics showing that Black men actually compare to Hispanic men. And that, look at the difference between Black men and Black women. Black women, the obesity rate is way higher than Black men. It's not Black men. And I'm glad that you pointed that out. But that's just another example.
Non-Hispanic Black adults have the highest prevalence of obesity.
But break it down even further.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, break it down even further. Like that's the lack of accountability. I'm just clowning Maya, but it is what it is. Don't try to throw. I'm clowning. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But this is what happens when people want to get real specific until that's specific. What's the word? Specificity. Until you being specific addresses just you. No, hold on. But I want to, and I know I'm late. Hold on. Let me scroll up. Hold on. Let me see. Yes, because it's inaccurate because the people I know. Oh my God. Are you serious? The people I know are not out of shape, and those stats are inaccurate too because no one has ever knocked on my door. Who is taking these statistics? All right, we're going to have to move on. So because you weren't included in the studies aren't real? Is this how did Donald Trump win the election? Did Joe Biden? I don't know. If they never came to, I don't know if my ballot was casted. They didn't tell me that they checked my ballot specifically. So therefore, I don't know if they won the election. Come on, Mama Lay. Because you weren't included in the study, and you're saying that the people that you know are not out of shape. I don't know what black women you're around, but you should start a group. You should start a group because if the black women and black men that you're around are all in shape, then we should highlight that. Because when I walk around in different areas in Jersey, in Miami, Maya, would you agree that you tend to see, would you say that the black women are looking the same way as the white women?
In Miami or in Jersey?
Let's say Miami.
In Jersey, I think there are a lot more white women and black women that are out of shape. In Miami, it's the opposite. Like people are just in shape here in general.
So what's the answer?
The white women in Miami are white and Hispanic.
Yo, go to the Bronx and then go to a white neighborhood. Like, what are we? Let me hold on. See, this is the problem with this. This is the problem. I'm gonna tell you what is true. When I sat down with the mayor of Mount Vernon, which is the blackest city north of the Mason-Dixon line, this is the problem when you. This is why we need men in leadership positions. And I'm just being honest, yo. I'm just being honest because y'all play games. Y'all women play games and don't want to be categorized with everybody else. And it presents a problem. Things never get done that way. I'm going to give you an example. When I went with Mayor Sean in Mount Vernon, the issue was in Mount Vernon, people live 5 years less. 5 years they live less compared to the town right next to them, New Rochelle. Because of heart disease, diabetes, all this other stuff that comes from unhealthy living. See, that's the same area, one town over. But because we can't properly identify a problem and because we want to look at stuff and say, well, my friend group is a little bit different, so that can't be the stats throughout the country. We never end up addressing the actual issue. This is a problem when it comes to accountability, and we talk about it all the time, that black women, yes, I'm categorizing black women, accept the least amount of accountability across the board. And women in general, what do we always say about women in general? Y'all want the power of men, y'all want the privilege of women, and you want the accountability of kids. You want the accountability of kids, the power of men, and the privilege of women. It's so the stats don't matter. So me walking around seeing black women unhealthy, I guess if that's what I see, I should just go off what I see. We got all right. We'll move on. We shall move on. All right. What's the next topic we got? What's the next topic that we got? We need harsh leadership, man. This is damn. All right, let's move on to this. Let's move on to. Should we do Corinne Jean-Pierre first, or we'll do Riley Gaines? I don't know. Let's do Riley Gaines. All right, so. I want to play a couple different videos. I want to play a couple different videos for y'all. It's really surprising that we still even have to have this conversation. I'll be totally honest. When it comes to these men playing sports or boys playing sports or boys playing against women in sports or girls in sports. Now I'm not saying all boys are playing sports against girls. I'm just saying a few, right? Okay. So boys playing sport. This is insane to me. It just keeps getting wilder and wilder. And Simone Biles decided to inject herself into this conversation. And in my opinion, it just shows the unrealistic bubble that so many people are living in nowadays. The unrealistic bubble that so many people are living in nowadays. Take a look at this. Let me make sure you guys are. Take a look at this. So there's a couple different stories that I'm going to share. We'll go through everything, and then we'll go through the tweets that both Simone Biles and Riley Gaines had going up against each other. All right.
A lawsuit has been filed in federal court challenging Minnesota's transgender athlete policy in girls' sports.
The complaint was brought forward on behalf of several metro area high school softball players. Fox 9's So Young Kim joins us in studio tonight to break this down for us. So Young, what is in this complaint?
Randy Kelsey, according to the lawsuit, 3 female high school softball players say their experience competing against a transgender athlete undermines fairness, sacrifices their safety, and violates Title IX. This is the lawsuit the Alliance Defending Freedom filed Monday on behalf of Female Athletes United, an advocacy organization. As you can see here, defendants listed are Minnesota agencies, leaders, and the State High School League. The complaint highlights the experience of 3 Minnesota high school softball players. In the lawsuit, a junior at Maple Grove says she lost against a biologically male athlete in both the regular season and sectionals. A junior at Farmington says she would have had to compete against the biologically male player for pitching time, which led to her decision to quit the club team. And a sophomore at Farmington says being hit by a pitch thrown by the biologically male pitcher hurt more than other times in similar situations. The documents focus on an unnamed student who they say is a biologically male athlete on the girls' high school softball team for Champlin Park. In response to the complaint, Attorney General Keith Ellison's office sent us this statement that reads in part, quote, "I believe it is wrong to single out one group of students who already face higher levels of bullying and harassment and tell these kids they cannot be on the team because of who they are. I will continue to defend the rights of all students to play sports with their friends and peers."
Are we allowed to comment on this? Because I know, never mind, let me not be petty. All right. Minnesota Attorney General. Of course, it's a black man that they push. That of course, this is. I don't know whether this Attorney General is a Democrat or a Republican. Let me actually look that up. Minnesota Attorney General, because this is just. I guess I'm gonna be generalizing. More. But it's funny how all these generalizations seem to be very consistent with what's going on. But let's say Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison. Democrat or Republican? All right, I'm looking it up. Surprising, he's a part of the Democratic Party. Yeah. Yo, man. Oh my God. And the Democrats wonder why black men are leaving the Democratic Party, why young men are leaving the Democratic Party. These people write statements or give statements as if they think the people that they're speaking to are idiots. I believe it is wrong to single out one group of students who already face higher levels of bullying and harassment and tell these kids they cannot be on the team because of who they are. I will continue to defend the rights of all students to play sports with their friends and peers. This is a man. You know what? If we're going to do this, let's be consistent across the board. Let's get rid of the fact that aren't the rules, what are the laws when it comes to all the, like if a I know it always comes up in college when we look at these videos with your first week in college with orientation, they show you the videos with sexual harassment, and they're usually highlighting women being sexually harassed, and they start talking about the stats of how many women have been sexually assaulted or harassed. You know what videos I'm talking about, right? Did you guys get that at UVA? All right, so we had that at William and Mary, and the rule is that pretty much, or you tell me, I don't know. Well, I'll have the combo with y'all, but I know Maya and I have spoken about this, where if a boy or a guy is drunk and the girl or the woman is drunk and they have consensual sex, or they legally it can't be consensual, who gets in trouble in the majority of those times? College campuses, wherever.
They don't both get in trouble. They go to, at least at UVA, they go to counseling. They make them both go to counseling.
So Maya said that they both go to counseling.
Yeah, they try to come up with a resolution. If a girl was to accuse a guy and they were both drunk at a party or whatever, they make them both go to counseling.
All right. So in my experience and what I've observed, I guess maybe we should.
Do you know someone that was accused at school and what happened to them? Because I do. That's what I'm saying.
Do you know somebody that was accused as far as what?
At college.
Of what?
Of sexual assault.
No, I know somebody outside of college.
I'm talking about in a college environment.
Oh, so she's saying in a college environment. Okay. Okay. Fellas, and this is the type of fellas, if you have sex with a girl and you're both drunk, you're going to be held liable to a totally different extent than the woman. I felt that was pretty known. I guess that Maya's saying that in her experience with one of her friends. Yeah, in college. I'm saying you're saying that your experience is different based on your friend. Cool. And based on the school's policy. All right. If they want to say that men and boys should be playing sports against women and girls, this is what I would do. All the domestic rules where if a guy and a woman are fighting each other, let's take the Ray Rice situation, for example. Didn't Ray Rice's wife hit him first? She spit on him, right? So he should be allowed to defend himself, right? Based on us adjusting all the rules to these trans people and saying that there's no, I think the USA Today just put out an article saying that there's no scientific study or no scientific data that shows that a transgender biologically born man has an advantage in sports over a biologically born woman. Of course it's not possible. Just like this attorney general knows the shit that he's saying is not realistic or possible. That's the whole point. These Democrats and liberals are pushing something that doesn't even seem realistic. It doesn't seem possible. How we're still having these conversations is confusing to me. But if you're going to take it there, then have the courage and have the balls to actually take it there when it comes to other issues as well. Like in a domestic violence situation. Because I'm pretty sure everybody can understand in a domestic violence situation that we grew up, oh, you shouldn't put your hands on women, right? Women don't grow up. It's totally different when a woman puts her hands on a man, right? We can, and women, and why are you told not to put your hands on men? And why is that a problem? The point, that's the point. Women are told not to put their hands on men. Why? Because a man is stronger than a man may react. Now, are you told not to put your hands on another woman? Okay. So the energy is different with men because we have obviously biological differences. The fact that we trust this person to be an attorney general, to cape and to pander like this is an embarrassment, is a complete embarrassment. Let me get back to, let me show y'all the other video. All right. Let me make sure that y'all aren't showing. Let me get to the comments as well. Hold on. We all agree. All right. So Vons, this is a great point. We all agree, even Democrats. No, you're wrong, Vons. The Democratic voters agree, but your politicians do not agree. Look at what that's and Vons, you are right. I agree. I agree totally with what you're saying. But what I'm saying is that even though the people all agree on this issue, the Democrats and liberals continue to fight this. They continue to have this front line their agenda. Why? I don't know. Matter of fact, think about this. What are the Democrats known for besides just being against Trump? What are the Democrats known for in the last 5 years, maybe longer than that, maybe since Trump got nominated or since Trump got elected? What are the Democrats known for? I can't think of anything that the Democrats push. Now, I'm sure there may be some things that I'll think about, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head that the Democrats have backed so hard outside of this issue. I don't even think the abortion has played as strong a role. So Maya said that abortion as well. I don't even think that. Well, I guess the whole women's rights. Yeah, I would agree with that. So abortion. Besides abortion, and that abortion thing only came out with Project 2025. That was the biggest thing. Oh, Maya said so. Abortion. Okay, so I'll give abortion. Outside of being pro-choice or pro-life, what has the Democrat stance been like so strongly when you think about what the Democrats represent? It's been this issue. Why? Doesn't it make you wonder, why would you intentionally push something? You're supposed to be a politician. You're supposed to be the slick people that say anything to get as many voters to support you as possible. If they know that the voters do not support this, why are they pushing it? Why are they pushing all of these things? It makes you wonder. Have you been to Brooklyn? What's going on in Brooklyn? Shout out to Honest in the building. Shout out to Big Bro. This entire topic. What can we do to not support these type of policies? Keep letting your voice be known. Keep letting your voice be known. What can you do to not support these type of policies? Keep letting your voice be known. Stop voting for people, in my opinion. Stop voting for people just based on single-based issues. This is just my recommendation. Unk's asking me, so this is just my recommendation, my opinion. You guys can do what you want with it. Too many Democrats, in my opinion, like Vons, like a lot of other people that we speak on, and Vons is just out there with it. So, and I don't even think Vons, you said you didn't even vote in this last election. But whatever. Too many Democrats, in my opinion, vote based on, and let me say this, too many Republicans and Democrats vote based on single issues. That to me is the problem. Ma, can you shut that door? It's just, Ma, can you shut the door? I'm hearing the show. All right. Too many people vote based on single issues. And when you vote based on a single issue, what it does is it allows them to push all the other BS that their party wants to push through just because you agreed on. We've talked about it before. What's the number one thing that Democrats and liberals are pushing right now that Trump is going to do? He's going to take away Social Security and Medicaid. Has never said that. Maybe he'll do it. I don't know, but he's never said that, consistently denied it. But that's what they keep pushing because they know that so many voters, especially over 50, that is their biggest concern. So many voters over 50 and so many voters that are living in poverty. That is their biggest concern. You taking away my Medicaid, you taking away my Social Security. That's it. They do not care about this issue that we're talking about right now. And the problem is these issues never become issues until they impact you as an individual, when your daughter or your niece or your little cousin or whoever it may be is impacted by this, or when it numbs our minds, when it numbs our brain to where we can vote for people where we've removed all logic. So they'll push these nonsensical things across to kind of numb us to push whatever other things that are going to come down the line. This is what they're trying to create. This is the whole George Soros play. This is a huge issue that we just don't even consider because it's like almost like it's so ridiculous. We're like, how can these quote unquote intelligent people be pushing it through? I would stop voting for them. That's an easy way, Unc. Stop. If a candidate can't tell you what a woman is, I probably wouldn't vote for them. Can we start there? If a candidate thinks that a biologically born boy should be playing sports against biologically born girls, that's probably the light bulb go off. Probably won't vote for that person because that person is pushing something that they don't even agree with themselves. They're just doing it to align with whatever agenda to whoever lined their pockets. They're just, hey, we need you to stand here on this issue. We need you to be here on this issue. That is what is happening. And just my opinion. Just my opinion. Honest wrote, if you're a Democrat right now, your only plan has to be to refuse to say you were ever wrong or you ever lied on radical strategies. Pathetic reality in today's politics. If you're a Democrat right now, your only plan has to be to refuse to say you were ever wrong or you ever lied on radical strategies. Pathetic reality of today's politics. There's a lot to unpack there, big bro. There's a lot to unpack there. It's accountability. Accountability. I don't understand the issue. I will come up on here and say certain things that I disagree with Trump. Will say certain things that I thought were insensitive, all these different things. But you can't get people. I don't know. I don't know. It's just an accountability standpoint, I guess. And I guess that's why I'm still a thinker, because I didn't use any of that crap. I agree with you 100%. Anyone that is promoting a 14-year-old boy to play ball against my 14-year-old granddaughter got to be insane. This is it. We didn't even make it to the second video. Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. This was about Riley Gaines and Simone Biles. Hold on.
All right, parents in Minnesota are furious as a
listen. This is the second video that I wanted to show y'all. Hold on. Let me stop talking for a little bit. I'm already y'all got me hyped up. Mama Lay, you the one that started it.
Softball team with a biological male player is headed to the high school state championship today after back-to-back wins this week. Host of the games.
All right. Is this the person that's the transgender? And I heard in a different video that they were saying that the person is, and hold on, one more thing. The reason why we're highlighting this particular issue is because this is what started the issue with Riley Gaines and Simone Biles. So just to give y'all a reminder on that. I know I started talking about it like 20 minutes ago, going on and off on all these tangents, but this looks like a guy to me. I assume that this is the guy, even though they said that the guy played center field. So this is what the coach tried to do. The coach on the softball team, this is what I think, based on what the lawsuit that we just heard, where the girls were saying that the guy was pitching against them, and when they got hit by the ball, they had never been like hurt that much, because obviously the guy was stronger and he was throwing the ball harder. So the coach of this team was saying how, oh my God, praising this person as a center fielder. Well, a center fielder, we could be saying, well, what's their impact in this game? And just to give y'all, so they ended up winning the championship. So that's why all this stuff came out. They ended up winning the championship. And then Riley Gaines, she commented and said, like, oh, you turned your comments off on this one. So imagine a team winning the championship, and then they turned their comments off. Clearly, they knew what to expect. So that was the whole issue around it. But the fact that this lady was highlighting this person as a center fielder and not highlighting the fact that this was a pitcher. Like, could you imagine? It's like a position where you can impact the game in such a significant way. You can literally have a team, let's say a softball team is 15 players. Another team could have 14 players, or let's say their 15 players are all better than the 14 players on the other softball team, except one. And that one is the pitcher. I'm still banking on the team with the dude that's pitching. That's who I'm going with.
For Girls podcast on Outkick.com. Riley Gaines joins me now. Riley, good morning to you. So the softball players coach praised her, saying she's always clutch. I think she's the best center fielder in the state. She's just a great all-around player. But as we mentioned, players and parents impacted by this are outraged by it. So here we go again.
Yeah, that's right. Of course they're outraged. They should be outraged. I cannot believe, Carly, that this is still happening. And it's not just happening in Minnesota. Over the past 7 days, we have seen this happen in 5 blue states, where boys have taken girls' state championship spots, state qualifying spots, or their spots on the podium. Minnesota, California, Washington, Oregon, Maine, the list goes on. Cannot believe this is still happening. And reminder, in Minnesota just a few months ago, I was there on the House floor as every single Minnesota House Democrat and senator, Democratic senators in the state of Minnesota voted in opposition of protecting women and girls in sports. This is tragic. It breaks my heart. I am so proud of the girls. There are a handful of girls now who are suing their state's attorney general and the high school sports governing body that has allowed this to happen, because
Vons, I got to ask you, and anybody that voted Democrat, I'm sorry, I got to ask you, how do you feel? Like, why do you think, let me ask you this question. Why do you think that the people, the Democratic politicians are unanimously supporting allowing boys to play sports against girls? Can you just answer that question? Why are they pushing it? Why is this the hill that they are willing to die on?
Discriminatory policies that exclude.
And even though Maya said that the issue with abortions rights and women, that was probably a bigger issue that Democrats were pushing over this issue, since Donald Trump has become reelected, I've heard more about this than women's pro-life and pro-choice. I haven't heard as much about pro-choice, pro-life. Now, that may be for other reasons. I don't know. I'm sure somebody can inform me on that, but I've heard more about this.
Women from the women's category. Cannot believe this is happening.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about that.
All right, so let's get into, I want to show y'all what happened on X. So this is what happened on X. Let me share this with you all. I wish I could make it a little larger, but we'll just have to deal with this. All right, so this is what happened on X. So as I said, this Minnesota State High School League, this Meet Champlin Park, the Class 4A softball state champions for 2025. Okay, so I believe this was the guy, the boy, the trans girl that we saw pitching. Cool. Clearly, there's a difference here, right? Height. Okay, cool. All right. So when they won the championship, and I guess put up this post, Riley Gaines noticed that the comments were off. She wrote, "Comments off, LOL, to be expected when your star player is a boy." Let's actually see. Are the comments off? Hold on. Wow. So the comments are actually off. So this post got 45.9 million views and the comments are off. Oh, man. Like, you would think that you would want the comments to be on, right? And especially in our day and age where we want to be celebrated and we want everybody to tell us how great we are, all these different things. Okay, cool. So it's like they understand that the majority of people are going to have a problem with it, or maybe they don't think it's the majority of people. I don't know. Maybe because most people just sit back, and even though they disagree with it, and maybe that goes to the question that I was asking to the people that vote Democrat. Maybe that's the question. Maybe it's because when you're voting, you're only prioritizing the Social Security and Medicaid, where they don't. I mean, do you think the politicians don't know that you disagree with it? Or do you think they just don't care because they know you're still going to vote for them regardless? I guess that would be my question. So Simone Biles responds with this to Riley Gaines. "You're truly sick. All of this campaigning because you lost a race. Straight up sore loser. You should be uplifting the trans community and perhaps finding a way to make sports inclusive, or creating a new avenue where trans feel safe in sports, maybe a transgender category in all sports." Well, Simone, you just said a whole lot there. Yeah. How about maybe a transgender category in all sports? Who is arguing against that? That is what Riley Gaines is pushing for them to have their own category or to compete with the category that they are biologically aligned with. But then she says, but instead you bully them. One thing's for sure is no one in sports is safe with you around. They start using those gaslighting words like nobody is safe with you around. But the girls who are competing against boys are safe. But the woman in the Olympics who had to fight against a dude being punched on by a guy, she's safe. And what's so funny about this is all of this campaigning because you lost a race. Simone Biles has never competed against a guy. But let me actually, hold on. Let me chat GPT this. Because I don't even think that she did. Riley Gaines lose to a guy in a race. I want to look this up because what I saw, you got to be careful getting this info from ChatGPT. Shout out to y'all. I start there. I treat y'all like Google, but it's got to be a little bit more extensive. in my opinion, at least certain things that I've seen. Did Riley Gaines lose a guy? All right, so it's taken a while. Riley Gaines. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me share this with y'all. Since we got to be specific on this stuff. All right, let me share the screen. I want y'all to see this. Share screen window. Where is it? Boom. Here we go. All right, let me show this on screen. All right. So as you can see here, Riley Gaines did not lose a race to a man. She actually tied for fifth place with Leah Thomas, a transgender woman, in the 200-yard freestyle at the 2022 NCAA Women's Championships. Despite the tie, Leah Thomas was awarded the trophy and Gaines left without one. No evidence suggests that she ever lost to a cisgender man in competition. What did happen recently involves her challenging key. Okay, so that's a different one. All right, so Simone Biles, she actually didn't lose to a guy. She actually tied to a guy for fifth place and never received her fifth place trophy at the NCAA Women's Championships because they wanted to award it to a man or a transgender woman, whatever, a biologically born man. And Simone Biles is trying to portray the story to all of her audience, which we know that she has a huge influence, right? A huge influence. And she's trying to position it in a way where it just makes Riley Gaines look like the big bad bully. When in all actuality, Simone Biles is contradicting herself, even in the statement that she makes here. And you know where else she contradicts herself? See, this is why you got to be careful of the things that you tweet early on. This is a post that was made by Simone Biles in October 2017. Good thing guys don't compete against girls, or he'd take all the gold medals. Is it any more complicating than that? But because Simone Biles, and this is what makes me question. This is why I asked you the question earlier, Vons, and to all the Democrats. This is, and Vons answered, and he said it's got to be for political position. So I said, why do you think, even though Democratic voters do not support this, why do the Democratic leaders, the politicians, the leaders of your party that are guiding y'all, why does this seem to be an issue that they want to push, even though the people that vote for them do not want it? And Vaughn said it's got to be political positions. So what political position is a favor is somebody putting themselves in by pushing this type of narrative? What political position? What makes Simone Biles go from saying, good thing guys don't compete against girls or you take all the gold medals? What makes them go from common sense? They played sports. Let's remind ourselves of this. Simone Biles played sports. She understands the difference between a man and a woman. I would understand when it comes to physical competition in gymnastics. What is making her in her mind go from saying, oh, I'm going to remove all logic and then just go in this area and go based on I just want everybody to feel good. Forget the feelings of, you know what's so funny? Simone Biles, who's supposed to be for uplifting women, you're more concerned about the feelings of Leah Thomas, who was a biologically born man. You're more concerned about the feelings of Leah Thomas, more concerned about the feelings of the transgender boxer at the Olympics than you are about the women that are competing and saying, hey, this is not fair. I can't compete. But you take the side of the actual man over the women. It's insane to me. It's insane to me. So I think there was what was there? One more post that I need to see on this. Yeah, just so you guys, you see it right here. I think I'm still sharing the screen. All right, cool. I don't know. I don't know. So Honest wrote, so this must mean Simone Biles will be running for office soon. Stay tuned. Crazy. Unc wrote, have a transgender category in every sport. That's all. Yeah, just have a like. Oh my God. This subject is so obviously insane that there has to be a real reason that the powers that be are keeping up their sleeves that will contribute to their future agenda. This is what I'm saying. All right, so we're on the same page here, Steve. We're on the same page. It's so obviously insane. It has to be something else. Like, I'm thinking there has to be something else. And I would never trust people who would push things that are obviously insane to try to get the day-to-day folk to understand it. They're trying to get us to rationalize this. They're trying to get us to embrace something that is just completely insane. And my question is why? That's the question. Why? So I think I don't know. I think we covered this one enough. Oh my God. All right, let's move on to, are we going to do the LA riots? Are we going to do the LA riots or Trump versus Elon? Let's move on to the, I'll let y'all know in a sec. Oh man. Oh man. Let's do the LA riots. Let's do the LA riots. All right, so this was a video that I saw. We'll use this one. Check out this video. Let me know your thoughts. We're going to go through the conversation. But apparently, LA is rioting on his road. So this must mean Simone Biles will be running for office soon. Stay tuned. Exactly. I don't know. Yeah, way down a rabbit hole. Hold up, Queens coming through. Hold them accountable, Queens. Women need to step up and speak out against this. Instead, we hear more support. Hustling backwards. Illogical. Women need to I don't get how women will literally stand up and fight. Like, y'all don't fight for, well, I shouldn't say that. Women do fight for men in certain areas. But women, we know that women will fight for women's rights, women's empowerment. We know this. But when it comes to this issue, so let me ask y'all this. So when a man wants to be a woman, you support those men, but wait. Hold up. Queez, you may have tapped into something. So let me get this straight. Maybe this is a microcosm, or this is just another way of highlighting what's the actual issue between men and women. Women will support a guy that wants to be a woman. Women may support, let's say, a gay guy. But women don't support the masculine, stern leaders that a lot of women say that their grandfathers were, but that these soft men in our generation are not. Isn't that kind of like a contradiction, or as we always call it, hustling backwards? Maybe, ladies, if y'all started supporting and showing love to the men that actually stand sturdy on things, especially when it comes to protecting the girls' youth sports, right? Protecting our young girls. Maybe y'all should have the same energy in supporting those type of men that have the courage to stand up and speak out against it that Simone Biles has to speak up for a biologically born man or boy that wants to compete in sports against a woman or a girl. Maybe what do we always say? The things that are celebrated, right? The things that are celebrated. The things that are celebrated when we talk about Black culture, the things that are celebrated, that's what ends up misleading us a lot, right? Because our culture is created based on the things that we celebrate. And then the people that want to be celebrated, want to be cool, we end up doing the things that are going to get this certain type of attention. And then that's where the cycle begins and starts, right? Or begins and ends. And it just continues to go on and on and on. So maybe we need to do it. I don't know. This is just, it's so wild to speak on this issue and try to make sense of something that just makes no sense. Let's keep going.
Well, right now it's still daylight, so I'm thinking that it could potentially, what we're seeing now is a huge startup for when the sun goes down, when activity really kicks off. My FBI brethren, Bobby Chacon, said just a little while ago, he used a perfect term, that the mayor poured fire on this, and that is exactly what we're seeing. And this fire right here, LA has to remember, it almost burnt down just a few months ago. And when we start to see this type of actions, it is no longer a peaceful protest. It doesn't matter that some people stand around. The reality is this has gone from a protest to a riot, and it's actually been that way for about 3 days now. And this is the perfect example of where the National Guard could be used. Usually they're a buffer or a blocking force as an augment to law enforcement. But when we get to this point, this is exactly why President Trump pushed and activated the National Guard in that area. And even the mayor said that this is how incompetent she is. She said that she knew they were being activated, but she didn't think that they would actually be on the street. So I don't know what she thinks, but this is exactly why. That incompetence, these rioters, equal the National Guard being called up, and that the mayor wasn't going to do it, the governor wasn't going to do it, then the president did the right thing. And this is why citizens should not have to deal with this kind of nonsense. That I will say this, if we
all right, so Unc brought up a point. I'm sorry, I just don't see the sense in having armed soldiers doing police duties. I don't see the sense in it either, Unc. If the police are actually able to do what their responsibility and duty is. So, and Unc, I'm not saying that you're saying this, but I heard, it just reminded me, I heard a lot of people are in the, like, I always go through all these videos and you know, see what people are posting, see what different channels are posting. And when I look at Donald Trump's, or the response of Donald Trump in bringing in the National Guard, I'm almost wondering, like, what else should he do? Like, what should Trump do in this type of situation? Should he just say, Karen Bass, Mayor Bass, do better? Governor Newsom, do better? What should he actually do? We've already seen how these situations can end up. We saw what happened in 2020 with the George Floyd riots in certain areas where they burned down police stations, took over police stations. They took over areas of cities. They took over areas of cities. They had them. They took over, not only took over the area, but they had it like policed with their own guns, their own policemen, all these different types of things. They took over the city. So what is he supposed to do? Doesn't this just show that, okay, clearly LA, California, they are not. Maya's giving me, we're going to talk in a little bit about Robinhood and this Tesla stock. She's pointing at it because it's almost 9:30. We got to take a pause at 9:30. But this is just another example of how poorly California is ran. How poorly California is ran. And when you look at the most liberal, the most democratic, most progressive state, what is it? What is it? And now they got my boy Trump looking bad, talking about, yeah, this is just another example of how things have been bad since Trump's been in office. Like, knock it off. Y'all keep gassing up these people. Y'all keep stoking this race war. Eventually, it's going to build, eventually something. Yo, do y'all want, what's that movie that, The Purge? Let me ask y'all a question. Who is prepared for The Purge? Like, if think about it from this standpoint. Let's back up a little bit. Let's try to use some common sense. Let's try to use some common sense here. Who's the side of people that's always trying to take away the guns? Democrats and liberals, right? who has the most guns? I would say more like just in my Midwest, Southerner, Midwest, more country, right? I would probably say more white people have more. Now, somebody's going to say legal guns or illegal. All right. I would say that more white people in general have guns that are, we're just talking about legal guns, right? Can we just, more white people have guns that are legally owned, and the ones that are illegally owned by certain people, let's just be real. Black people, we ain't committing crimes against, we're scared to do anything to white people. Let's just be honest. That's why George Zimmerman is still walking around here and was popping big shit, saying, I'm outside pretty much, and nobody did anything. If we allow the Democrats, the politicians, to keep stoking this race war, the politicians, they're probably good. The politicians, they're privileged, right? They're in a position where they're not going to have to worry about, they're not going to be on the front lines of fighting anybody or anything like that. They're going to hire people for security. They're going to do all these things, right? But if there's a race war, the people that vote Democrat, let's break it down like that. Instead of breaking it down white and black, let's say the people that vote Democrat, I don't think have as many guns as the people that vote Republican. I'm just being honest. Just being honest. So if we allow them to create a race war, it's almost like your man telling you, or somebody that you think is your friend, trying to get you to crash out, like, yo, go, go over there, knowing that you're about to walk into a situation where that's getting backdoored. That's what they call getting backdoored, right? So it seems like the Democratic politicians, the liberal politicians, are backdooring the people that vote for them to get them involved in a situation that's going to create a race war. Now, maybe they're looking at it like, so what? It'll just be a big event. You know, we'll have a race war. We'll get people to need us even more. They don't have any guns. Maybe they'll need us even more. I don't know what the end game is, but I'm just being real. We can't afford a race war. And when I say we, I'm not only talking about the country. I'm not only talking about how I identify my people, my principles, morals, and values. I'm talking about black people. I'm talking about minorities. I'm talking about Democrats. I'm talking about the people that tend to vote for the BS politicians, the Democrats and liberals. They're trying to create a war that they know that the people that vote for them will never, ever be able to survive, be able to win, and it will just make them more and more dependent on them. Now, y'all may be sitting here saying like, bro, there's never going to be a race war. There's never going to be this. All right. What else are they doing this stuff for? We continue to talk on this show about stuff that doesn't make any sense. We heard Vons earlier say that, yo, even Democrats agree on this. So why are they pushing it? Why are they pushing it then? And Vons just wrote, I compete in a white man sport. Vons is a professional bass fisher, just in case y'all didn't know. We definitely can't afford a race war. We can't. But Vons, my question to you is, why are you like, I don't want to make it you personal. Why do you think people that vote Democrat overall continue to vote for people that are pushing for something that we can't afford? It's like, how are the same people that are telling you deserve reparations also trying to get you to crash out and get involved in a situation where you and your offspring won't even be able to survive and enjoy and reap the benefits of any reparations? And Queez, you're right, Queez. We will call for help and assistance like we always do. All right, so oh my God, it went down. All right. Oh my God. Now I'm about to buy it. If it's down, we should buy more. Hold up, man. Hold up. Yo, all right. So just a quick little trade advice. We get a couple bands and some Tesla real quick. All right, we good. We clear. All right, it went through. All right, so just a little stock advice. All right, so Tesla. Total side note. Just give me 60 seconds. Elon Trump Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Elon's trying to piece it up. I anticipate Tesla going up today and tomorrow significantly because people are going to see that, oh, now they're back cool again. I'm just praying that Trump shows a little, I don't know, extend a little grace, Trump, for my boy Elon. As soon as Trump makes a post that somewhat seems as if him and Elon are cool or at least not beefing, I think it'll really help the Tesla stock. So I'm not a financial advisor though. So don't do anything I'm telling you to do unless you prepare to lose some money because you may. It dropped. It's just what I'm saying. All right, so that was just 60 seconds. But we will call for assistance like we always do. We got to stop this. We as a people. So let me read what Steve said. We as a people have got to stop being so easily controlled by our emotions. I think race is just another category that they use to sharply divide us. I agree 100%. They want us emotional. Going back to the first story or the second story that Shai sent over with us figuring out whether or not this guy struggling to make a decision about getting a cat surgery for $17,000 or using that money that he saved up for a down payment of a house. They want us emotional. When we are emotional, we're not thinking logically. We're not using proper rationale, in my opinion. So let's hold on. Let's continue this story with the my fault. Let me pull this back up with the riots. All right, so I got a couple. Let me get to my notes real quick. There's a couple notes that I have on the riots. This is the same story over and over. Whether it's Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ, the migrants, they start a riot trying to rile up whatever group of oppressed victims they can find. Aren't y'all skeptical of people that only try to help or only try to gaslight like the vulnerable people? The people that are either emotionally vulnerable or financially vulnerable, living in poverty, or whatever other vulnerability that they have, informational knowledge, you know what I mean? Why does this group always try to attach themselves to the little guy? But all of these politicians, it's like I'm skeptical of people, of very wealthy people that want to champion and stand up just to fight for, the oppressed group and the people. Like, I'm just always skeptical where it's like, well, what are you doing this for? Like, clearly you like a lot of money, but you're trying to convince us that everything's okay and that we should, you're implementing certain things and tactics, whether it's social programs, whether it's making that group feel comfortable, embracing victimhood, all these things, are going to keep them in this oppressed, impoverished mindset. But you continue to push it to them, even though you're not okay with being in poverty. You're not okay with the vulnerabilities that come with that. You're not okay with just being a victim. Oh, because you're going to fight for them. It sounds real black pastor. Let me not say, it is black pastorish. It sounds real black pastorish. All these black mega churches and stuff like this, where the pastors are rolling around living rich. Meanwhile, they got the congregation pressuring them to give money. But you bring me to a congregation. That's how it is at a lot of the isn't that how it is at a lot of the mosque? I remember I went to one, I think. And one thing that I noticed, maybe this is not consistently across the board with Islam, but the person running the mosque, I don't even know the names, I'm being totally honest with you, was living in the same financial state as everybody else. Now, some people may say, well, why would I want to follow somebody that's in the same position as? I look at it a little bit differently. As a leader, you should be willing to give your shirt off your back to help somebody else, right? So as a leader, your cup is always going to be poured into somebody else. But what I see happening with a lot of the black churches, just to be totally honest, especially these mega churches, they're more concerned with everybody pouring into their cup. And they justify it in their minds with, oh, everybody should pour water into our cup. But I'll give y'all air, the air that comes out of my mouth, because that mentally makes you feel better, whatever. That's what it seems like to me. So I don't know, but these LA riots, I'm not with them. I don't like them. I don't understand them. And maybe if we go into this next topic with this CNN clip, I think it's on X, maybe things will kind of make a little bit more sense. But this whole mindset, as far as how we move with this victim mentality and how we push victimhood, let me actually bring this up. I think this is actually a good video, good time to segue into this next video that this CNN panel was having regarding. Oh man, did I not save it? Hold on one second. Hold on. I know I bookmarked this post. Hold on. Oh, and just very quickly for all y'all, let me just show y'all. See USA Today? I found it. This is what I was trying to find earlier. USA Today. This is what they wrote. Just y'all take a second to read that. There is no scientific evidence that transgender women athletes have a physical advantage over cisgender women athletes. Insane. 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 All right, so let me get to, if I can't find the video that I was trying to show y'all on X, I'll just play the YouTube clips. The YouTube clips weren't as good, but it is what it is. We'll adjust. We shall adjust. All right. Actually, let me do this. Hold on. Yeah, let me just do this. I'm sorry. Oh, no, I kind of want to show that one. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. 1 second. I just got to find out the lady's name. Hold on. Google. Maya Ninja. Hold on 1 second. So this is what I'm trying to find. There was a conversation on CNN. Hold on. Give me a second. All right. So this is what we'll do. We'll play the beginning of this JD Vance interview that I wanted to highlight to talk about Trump versus Elon, but we'll get back to the CNN clip as well. Matter of fact, no.
Oh, Maxine.
One more video that we had to show on this exact issue. So that's what we'll do. All right. So we'll make sure that this is up. Perfect. I'm glad that happened. All right. So we'll take a look at this. And while you guys are looking at this, I'll find that other video.
Maxine Waters had plenty of fears, fevered dreams about Trump and his supporters starting trouble. But it's the left, always the left, resorting to violence, and right there to defend the protesters and defend the rights of illegal immigrants to stay in the country illegally was the Congresswoman. Let's have a listen to Maxine Waters.
Using deportation as a way to enhance his position with all of those right-wingers out there who do not want this country to be a country of people coming from other groups. It's outrageous, it is horrible, and we've got to make sure that we do everything that we possibly can, because I think he's up to creating martial law.
She said that he's about to create martial law. Go back. Let me just listen to this. So you think that Trump is trying to create martial law? It's like y'all do stuff where it's like this man can't win. This goes back to that energy that I'm talking about. Maxine and the Democrats, they want it all. It's like you want to be able to say that. It's like you don't want any accountability on the fact that if California wasn't burning, if the actual leaders that are Democrats in California were able to solve this issue, then Trump would have no reason to be involved. But clearly you can't control it. Clearly it's gone far out of hand. So then when Trump comes in, now Maxine is going to play victim and say, oh, he's just trying to create martial law. And like Vaughn said, we love Maxine. And that's what ends up happening. You're right. Why do we love Maxine, Vaughns? Because the black man has been convinced, and I'm going to make another generalization. The black man just loves black women leadership. Maybe it's because that's what we're used to. Maybe that's because so many of us grow up with a woman playing the lead role that we just, as soon as we put up a post about Maxine, Vons does it all the time. Y'all see it. As soon as we put up a post about a black woman on here, put up Jasmine Crockett. We love Jasmine Crockett. Vons, I don't hear you saying you love any of these other leaders. It's just the black women. It's because we don't even understand how we've been manipulated and we've been groomed to be so emotional because we love the leadership of a black woman, and black women are the ones that are leading most of our households. So therefore, you know what? Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
To be a country of people coming from other groups. It's outrageous, it is horrible, and we've got to make sure that we do everything that we possibly can, because I think he's up to creating martial law. He even alluded to civil war.
He alluded to civil war.
He alluded to civil war. And look at Vons. As you can see in my mind, I'm figuring out how to properly process this, how to properly respond to it, because all right, I'm going to critique the player. No, the play, not the player. I think that, let me get this off the screen because it ain't about Vons. I think that so many black men love strong black women for all the reasons that I said earlier, because that's who they were raised by. But what I've also found out is that a lot of the men that are not independent, and I'm not talking about Vons, this is completely separate. Y'all know what I do. I just used that comment, just made me think about some other stuff. I'm not talking about Vons. What I've noticed is that a lot of the men that need to and still depend on women, those are the ones that are saying that they love such strong black women. Strong is the key word, not black. But a lot of these men, in my opinion, love strong black women is because those strong black women take on the responsibilities that you have not taken on yourself. They love the strong black women that are going to pay the bills, while those ain't-ish dudes that can't provide damn near for themselves, definitely can't be a provider in the relationship. They love being able to rely on that woman, because nowadays you see it all the time in relationships. It'll be the weak man and the black woman. The weak man is celebrating the strong woman or the strong black woman. Why? Because they're gaslighting you, in my opinion. They're gaslighting you. They're finessing you. They're pimping you. And they don't even, some of them don't realize it. Some of them may do. I love me a strong black woman. The strong men, I don't see them saying that they love me a strong black woman. They may say I love black women. Nothing wrong with that. If that's your thing, cool. But it's very specific when you use that strong word, because I don't know if I hear any other demographic of people saying, oh, I love me a strong Jewish woman. I love me a strong Indian woman. I love me a strong Italian woman. I love me a strong Irish. I just don't hear that in other cultures. But also what happens in other, matter of fact, I don't hear Caribbean men saying that. I don't hear any, like, maybe I do. I don't know. I definitely don't hear Africans, countries in Africa, what, Nigeria, Ghana, I don't hear them saying that. The people that I know. So it seems to be that maybe we're attracted to our opposites, like opposites attracting. So the weak men seem to be attracted to strong women. I'm just being, look, I can't come on here and sugarcoat and play games with y'all. This is just what I see and what I believe. I may change my mind in the end. But the men that are strong financially, the men that are strong physically, the men that are strong in their mental, the one that's strong in their spirituality, the men that are strong across the board, I never hear them saying, I love strong women, or I want a strong black woman. Are you a strong black man? Or are you just dependent on that woman? So she doesn't feel offended and realize that she's playing herself by supporting another black man because the black man doesn't want to do it himself. Are you just finessing her? So are you really, do you really care about that woman? Do you really care about that? I mean, based on the new stuff that's going out, a lot of black women are now wanting to live the soft life, right? Right, Maya? That's what I'm seeing now more recently. I told y'all plenty of times that I've heard Maya's friends, let's say women, I'm not going to say Maya's friends, women in their 30s, low 30s, saying that they feel that they've been manipulated by society to go out there and chase jobs rather than to chase family. And to me, part of the reason is because you have men that don't want to go out there and be responsible financially, that don't want to go out there and be a protector and provider and take on that responsibility. So they gas up the women to be comfortable doing it because they want to marry. They over here, we flipping the roles. Now, it used to be women want to marry a guy that makes a lot of money and all this stuff. Now it's the opposite. You got a lot of guys running around here saying, like, I just want my woman to be like wealthy. Like I'll talk to guys who actually, and I'm not even talking about guys that don't make good money. Even guys that actually make money. I've had conversations with them where they're telling me about a girl that they're dating or taking seriously or whatever, and they will sit there and say, yo, she comes from a lot of money. And I'm sitting there like I almost get like triggered where I'm like, well, why did you tell me that? Like, okay, like, is that a plus or is that are you complaining about it or are you celebrating? Like, and they'll say it in a way where they're celebrating it. And I'm like, yo, that doesn't even go through my mind. It doesn't even go through my mind. And Vaughn's just wrote, no, black men are stepping up now. Okay. I mean, it's hard to step up when you have a mommy that will just take care of you, because let's just keep it real. Black women, they raise their girls to be independent soldiers that can stand on whatever, to test the weather the storm, right? But they raise their sons. They coddle them. They spoil them. They baby them. They damn near treat them like that's their man. They just want to take care of something, right? But they'll teach their daughter to be out here independent, going to get the money because niggas ain't shit. And you got to make sure that you got your own. You got to make sure that you always keep a little stash, that you're never 100% dependent on another guy, right? I've been in these conversations recently and I'm sitting here like, yo, damn. Like, women really thinking like that? We've done that bad of a job that like, you feel that you got to still have something on the side and still have. I'm just saying. All right, let's move on to the next video. But all that celebrating people to be strong. You know who else? You know who else does this? Because it's not just a man versus woman thing. You know who else does this? You know what happens when you're the leader of your team, of your organization, of your business, of your family, whatever it may be, and you take on everybody's problems and you take on the burden so much, and you get to a point where everybody feels comfortable putting their burden on you, whether it's an emotional burden, whether it's a financial burden, whether it's a physical burden, whatever it is, they start to put those things on you. And to justify it, you know what they'll do in their minds? They'll say, oh, but yo, you're strong. Like, you can handle that. Whole time, the person is only handling it because they're forced to handle it. It's unfair for them to have to handle that all on their own. We see that happen all the time. And of course, what did I tell you? Whenever we start talking about generalizations that are true, there's always people that will say, well, everybody's family's different. Yes, Bonds. Well, what's your point? What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Yes, everybody's family's different. We totally understand that. I don't understand why people do that. People will never say, no, you're wrong. I disagree here. This is A, B, and C. People will say everybody's family's different. You can't generalize all people. Well, is the generalization true? Does it apply to you? Like, let's start there. Like, is the generalization true? Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. Oh man. All right. What did we say we're getting? Oh yeah. So I found that clip for you guys. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this. All right. All right. Oh, we're not sharing. All right, there we go. All right. Y'all take a look at this. Interesting conversation. Interesting conversation. Like I said, this is the one that puts you on the mindset of it seems to be just a different perspective as far as government involvement. Let's take a look.
Everyone deserves health care.
Even illegals?
Every single person in the world deserves
Just for the
healthcare.
record, as a candidate, you're for illegal aliens getting Medicaid.
I think everyone in the world deserves.
Hold up. Time out. Time out. Time out. No. Steve, you brought me back to it. Nearly every family-based TV show is reflective of a dominant female and a submissive male. Why? I remember Netflix a couple years ago, maybe it was like right after the pandemic, where they were putting out movies. I think there was one with like Gabrielle Union and Michael Beasley. There was one with like Queen Latifah and Ludacris. And you're looking at the movies and the women are like, it's like they're making the guys out to be like the soft, like getting beat up by the guys, getting beat up by everybody. And then Queen Latifah, hefty, strong black woman, comes to she saves the day for all the family. Or Gabrielle Union rescues Michael Beasley from getting killed by this guy. And she does. Steve, you got me. You got me. You got me. You got me. And Vons knows it's true. That's why he's sending the laughing emojis. That's what they do. They send the laughing emojis. Never say you're wrong. Never say this. Yeah. Keep laughing, brother. It's funny, but I guess. All right, let's go.
Everyone deserves health care.
Even illegals?
Every single person in the world deserves.
Just for the
health
record,
care.
as a candidate, you're for illegal aliens getting Medicaid.
I think everyone in the world deserves.
That's a
health
yes.
care.
That's a yes.
Can we? Maybe I'm just. And Unc, let me read Unc's comment first. If a small country like Trinidad can afford to have free health care, kind of like Canada, for those Americans that don't know, the citizens don't pay for medical expenses. Why do we insurance brokers? Okay. Let me, as somebody who lived in Canada, Unc, let me kind of dive into this a little bit. But first, when they say everybody in the world, and let me, I just want to make sure that I quote her correctly. I just want to make sure I quote her.
Everyone deserves health care.
Even
everyone in the world deserves health care.
Illegals?
Right?
Every single person in the world deserves.
Just for the
health
record,
care.
Every single person in the world deserves health care. Maybe I'm being totally honest. Maybe I just have a different mindset, or a different definition of deserved, or a different perspective on that word deserved. I don't know what you mean by you deserve health care. I don't know what that means. And Unc, I'm not familiar with Trinidad, but just because it's a small country and they can provide health care to people, that there's small businesses that are more profitable than large businesses. There's small businesses that can afford to provide, because they're more profitable, they can afford to provide their employees with greater benefits, with more money, with different things, with more vacation time. Just because a larger company is larger does not mean that they have the capability or that they should be or the employees should feel entitled because I work at such a large company to receive something. So just because a country is larger does not mean anything. If we were a business, we would have been bankrupt a long time ago. We would have filed for bankruptcy, however government way they have, I don't know. But just because you say that it's a larger company, and then let's talk about Canada. Unc, do you know what people in Canada do when they need surgery? I lived in Hamilton, right outside of Toronto for 2 years. You know what I did when I got injured and needed to have surgery? And I told them, I said, yo, I'll just get the surgery in Canada. Like, there's Canadian doctors here, right? I don't want to go all the way back to, you know what they told me? They said that the people in Canada go to the States to get surgery, especially if you live along the border, which Hamilton was close to, like the Buffalo area and Niagara Falls, close to those areas, which are obviously on the border. They come to America because the free healthcare is not as good as the healthcare in America. At least that's what the Canadians say. So it sounds good on the surface for us to hear Democrats and for us to hear liberals and progressives to say everybody deserves healthcare. And keep in mind, this particular conversation is about illegal migrants. This is about people that come to the country illegally or that are here illegally. That's what the conversation is about. So now we're sitting here, even from a standpoint that I was talking about earlier, like I don't think that I'm entitled or that I deserve healthcare. That's one of the reasons why I work out and try to stay in shape and try to be as healthy as I can, because I don't want to pay for certain things that are going to occur if I'm not healthy. I don't want to have to rely on insurance. I damn near, knock on wood, I'd rather not have it and save that money and put it into another fund. All that money that an employer pays in benefits, take my insurance out, put it into a fund, and then put it into a fund that can grow. And then if I need to tap into that, then I'll tap into it. But our mindsets are just totally different, in my opinion, in the fact that we just feel entitled and privileged so much. You know what America is? America is the spoiled little rich kids. You know, the spoiled kids that, let's say you live in a community where everybody's super wealthy. You got all these billionaire friends, right? Parents and stuff. But your family's only worth, let's say, 500 million. That spoiled little rich kid that grows up in that family, because their next door neighbor or their best friend at school or their little group of friends that they hang out with, because they all got Lambos or they got a Ferrari. One kid got a Lambo when he got into college. Or that's not even realistic, but they got a nice Range Rover. Okay, cool. I don't even know because you got, I don't know, like they got a G-Wagon and you're sitting here in Range Rovers and you got what's a beautiful truck that's not as, expensive as those? Because you got a dope Jeep. You got a dope Jeep, all the Rubicon, all the big wheels. Something that 99.99% of kids would love, would feel like they are that guy or that girl in school. This little rich kid is sitting here like feeling like the world is against them, that they're so oppressed. They're a victim. How dare my parents? This is the problem. I'm living in poverty. My parents are only worth 500 million. All my friends are worth $1 billion. This is what America is. We just have these mindsets to where we feel so entitled to stuff that we shouldn't feel entitled for. We feel so entitled to free healthcare that we take no onus and responsibility on becoming healthier ourselves. And the people in America, the demographics that embrace the victimhood and the oppressed, the victimhood Olympics, the victimhood mentality the most, those are the ones that care less about their health. In America, what do we always say? America is the only country where there's fat homeless people. This is yeah. And Mama Lay wrote, Europe has free healthcare. I really don't know what, like, okay. So let me ask y'all this. So because Europe has it, or because other countries have it, America should have it? Should we also implement a lot of the other things that maybe other countries have and implement those in America? Or is it only the things that we like, that are in our favor, that are in our best interest as we see fit? So now, no matter what, if other countries have it, we should be able to have it, right? And now, and need I remind people that this conversation is about illegal migrants. Illegal migrants. I hate that I got to explain to my patients about getting help or not based on insurance. Vons, why don't you make a whole lot of money? And all the people that want these people to receive health care, why don't you make a whole lot of money and create a fund for people that can't afford certain surgeries, whatever it may be? I don't know. How much do you really care? Do you care enough to prioritize making a lot of money so you can help a lot of these people? I don't know. Is that an unfair thing to say? I don't know. Maybe. But it's just, what else are we entitled to? Are we entitled to food? Are we entitled? What else are we entitled to just by waking up every day? What are all the things that we're entitled to? We're entitled to health care. Are we entitled to food? Like what? Like damn near we should just be able to wake up and not work, right? Unc wrote, and you do realize that poor people don't really choose to be poor. Most of them just can't get out of that lifestyle. Unc, I'm looking at you different. This is disheartening. Like this just, Unc, what? You do realize that poor people don't really choose to be poor. Most of them just can't get out of that. Unc, this is the most victimhood comment somebody could write. That poor people don't choose to be poor. This is the problem. This is why winners don't get celebrated in America. Let me get her off the screen. We don't even need it. This is why winners don't get celebrated in America. Why we look at rich people like they're evil. Why we look at people that took the time to sacrifice. Why so many people during election time, Trump's only trying to help out and give tax benefits to the rich. Oh, you mean the people that have the companies that allow you to work? So you, who would never be able to embrace eat what you kill mentality, so you can have the comfy of getting your check every 2 weeks? You mean the people that have those companies that risked a lot, that took the risk and didn't take the safety net that comes with a 9-to-5? You mean those people? I just want to be clear on who we're talking about. You're going to sit here and say, see, when you say that poor people don't choose to be poor, what it does is it just discredits and takes so much. It takes so much away from the people that actually decide to get out of poverty. It totally, it's like, oh, you just got lucky. You do realize that poor people don't really choose to be poor? What is going on? Everything in my life is a decision. Everything in my life is a reflection of the decisions that I make on a day-to-day basis. You're acting like poor people are infants. Yes, you are. All of us, especially early on, we're products of our environment. I'm not saying that that's not the case at all. We're all products of our environment. But ultimately, we're products based on how we move in that environment. So we're impacted by our environment. And this is what, this is why I'm going to say this. This is a nigga mentality, bro. And I'm being real. This is a nigga mentality. And you want to know why I say it's a nigga mentality? People will sit here and say that, and I'm not talking about Unc's a nigga. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is a nigga mentality. People will sit here and say that most poor people don't really choose to be poor. Most of them just can't get out the lifestyle. So you're saying that because it's hard to get out the lifestyle, that it's not a decision, right? Even though the decision is to not get out the lifestyle. The decision is to not make the sacrifices needed to get out of that current position. Those are decisions. But the same people who will say that will then look at our culture who has 99 point, what did Nuri Muhammad say? 500,000 kids fighting for 7 full-time jobs to become the next LeBron James, to become the next Cam Newton, to become the next Lamar Jackson. You telling me if those kids made the commitment and use the decision making to do what's best to put them in the best possible position to make it in football, in basketball, that if we applied those same decision making skills to life, you're telling me that they couldn't be successful? You're telling me that the difference, if a kid, let's say that how many hours a kid, this is mind blowing. Unc, how many hours a week does a kid play sports? Let's say you got your practices, a couple practices a week, and then maybe a game. So let's say that you're committing about 5 hours, 6 hours a week to sports, and that's just on your actual sports teams. That's not factoring the time that it takes to get there. That's not factoring. Let's say that just 6 hours, just on sports. Not you practicing in the driveway. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just, obviously that's a lot more. You're going to tell me that if that kid took 6 hours a week learning plumbing, learning how to be a plumber, if they took 6 hours a week and started at 10 years old and learned how to be a plumber, by the time they were 13, they would have completely changed the trajectory of their life simply by investing into being a plumber instead of sports. If they would have just taken 1 hour, they don't even got to take it away from the sports, but just invest 1 hour a week on learning plumbing. By the time they're 13, they would have enough skills, or a mechanic. They would have enough of a skill set to have their own business and to completely change the trajectory of what you're describing as most poor people don't choose to be poor. They just can't get out of that lifestyle. That is the worst thing that you can tell somebody who's poor, in my opinion. That is the worst thing that you can tell somebody who's obese. You don't choose to be obese. You just can't get out of that lifestyle. The fact that they can't get out of the lifestyle is an accumulation of decisions which they're choosing to go away that directly conflicts with becoming healthier, that directly conflicts with making more money. Are we really saying this? Is this what we're really pushing to people? Okay, so Unc said using myself would be a bad example. My father was an electrical engineer, but then I had friends whose fathers were just alcoholics. What are you supposed to learn from him? Okay, so your friends, let's say that your parents are alcoholics. You're going to have a tough childhood, right? Really tough childhood. Probably have to be forced to grow up a lot faster than maybe a lot of your other peers. So you're going to have a rough life, let's say teenage years. We understand that. Let's say that you not having that father there makes you more likely as a guy to get locked up, to all these, whatever it may be, right? At a certain point in your life, just like we've heard in many other stories and movies and whatever else, somebody just makes a decision. I'm no longer going to be a victim of my circumstances. I'm no longer going to continue to give myself excuses for having a ceiling over my level of success that I can attain because of these other external factors. I'm going to put it on me and only me. Hold on one second. I feel like, I feel like all that, ew. Man, this watermelon, see, that's what happens when you put that lip mask on it. Is it showing? My bad. My apologies if it's, ew, hold on, man, this is nasty. My bad, my bad. You know how I get all cakey and stuff. Ew! Lips looking nasty. All right. This is just an example, yo. Unc, your dad was an electrical engineer. How about this? This is what I would do, Unc. Just using your example. Your dad is an electrical engineer. Yo, bring over some of your friends. Teach them how to become engineers. Teach them how to wire a house. Teach them all these different things. How are we more comfortable asking the government for stuff than we are our neighbors? Like, the government, come take care of me, when my neighbor could just teach me how to become an electrical engineer. Damn, are we really in that? All right. Steve wrote, would government-controlled healthcare further take the emphasis off of the horrible FDA-approved American diet and generally poor decisions that we make about our personal well-being? I'm going to read it again, but I already think I understand what you're saying. Would government-controlled healthcare further take the emphasis off of the horrible FDA-approved American diet and generally poor decisions that we make about our personal well-being? Every ounce of power, responsibility that we put into the government, we remove from ourselves. See, this is why when people got mad at Byron Donalds for saying that, see, in Jim Crow, we had the black family together. You want to know why the black family was together during Jim Crow? Because they needed to be together. You want to know why the black families maybe moved to a place where we're not together as much? Because we don't need to be. We don't need to be. People move out of necessity. What you feel like you need to do, that's what you do. If you don't feel like you need to do something, a lot harder to wake up and do it if it's not something that's enjoyable. Matter of fact, our life is largely it's created by the things that we either feel are necessary, and based on the things that we feel are necessary, that largely determines the outcome of what we'll have in life financially, what type of health we'll be in, right? If I feel like today I need to go for a run, I need to work out, I'm more likely to do it than if I feel like, I'm already good, I'm chilling, I don't need to do that. Like, I'll be all right, I'll work out later on the week. It's just common sense. So when you have the government, and when you can rely on the government and you think that, oh, we're entitled for healthcare, we're entitled for the government to give us all these pills and to give us all these big pharma prescriptions because we didn't take personal responsibility in making sure that we're the healthiest that we can be. Because why? Oh, well, it's food deserts. Oh, because I'm working all day. I need to come home and watch my shows. I don't have time to work out. Because we get it. Life's hard. It's tough. Who says put on a helmet? Get a helmet. It's tough out here. I don't know. All right. I feel like the government wants us dependent on government. Liberty demands personal accountability and responsibility. That's it. I do not feel, and like, it's hard for me to sit here and say that illegal migrants, and I think this is, I kind of moved us maybe in the wrong direction with this conversation, but in some ways I'm glad that we did have it, because I think what ends up happening in conversations that we were showing like this, where this lady was saying that all illegal migrants are entitled and deserve health care, my mindset is that even American citizens don't deserve health care. Like, the whole deserve. Is it great if a country is able to provide some of these things? Yes. Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to look at how it impacts us. We'd have to figure out, like, okay, when a country provides us all these things, is that country healthier than another country that doesn't? I don't know. But it would be nice to try. It would be nice to somebody that needs to some type of assistance and help to be able to get help. It would be nice. But the whole mindset of telling people that they deserve something or that they're entitled to something, like, I can't wait, knock on wood, when I have some kids. When I have some kids, yo, you're not entitled to anything. You don't deserve anything. You don't deserve anything. You have to work for everything. You have to sacrifice for everything. That's the energy that I'm on. The whole deserve this, entitled to this. Yo, you're crippling people. You are crippling people and don't even know it or just don't even care. All right. Let me get on. So Mama Lay, she's rocking with you, Steve. I agree. Speaking about that, we don't even have those types of programs in this country where a person can have a mental health day. Take a sick day, take a personal day. Like a mental health day. what falls under that? Like what qualifications fall under that? I'm tired. I woke up and it was raining, so it affected my energy. Like, take a sick day. If you're sick, you're sick. I'm not downplaying it. I'm just saying, like, what would qualify as a mental health day? Take a personal day if you're going through it. Like, maybe I'm just too. Let me. I am always going through a mental health day. I'm always fighting mental health. Like, this is just a thing. Like, oh man. Sheesh. God is great. God is great. God is great. Steve wrote, the fact that there appears to be no individual accountability or responsibility in government causes me to want less of it. I agree. Unc wrote, remember, you still got people out here that would smoke a blunt with an 8-year-old. I mean, okay, like I don't know, like, yeah, I guess so. You know, I don't know. What's the solution that you're providing or that you're presenting? If you present a better solution than I rock with, then I'm with you. All right, it's already 10:18. My apologies. We got to wrap this up quickly. 45 seconds. Y'all know what we do at the end of every show. We take 45 seconds to manifest, meditate, whatever suits you best. Y'all know the energy that we have on Sundays and Mondays to make this our greatest week ever. You choose whatever you need to do. Close your eyes, open your eyes, whatever's best. Every exhale, this is what's not up for debate. All right. Every exhale, we're exhaling all the negative energy. Every inhale, we're inhaling the positive. So let's start the 45 seconds. And if y'all want, y'all can keep going in the chat. I don't mind. I love when y'all be going back and forth in the chat, but or just not going back and forth, but just giving a combo, right? Y'all know what I mean. All right, 45 seconds starts now. Two more exhales. Exhaling all the BS. Inhaling all the positive. One more. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know we come here to do. Elevate on purpose. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I love the fact that y'all allow me to go back and forth with y'all. I promise you. I appreciate it. I love y'all. We're not going to always agree. We're not going to always see eye to eye. We're not going to always have the same perspective. We have different experiences. We've had different experiences. Let's bring them to the table, as always, for a respectful dialogue. All right. So our goal, elevate on purpose, both from an intentional standpoint, as well as challenging ourselves to become the best leaders we can become. And as we do that, we also want to mold ourselves into the people that are built to accomplish are built to sacrifice for the goals that we say that we want. That's who we're molding ourselves into. And that's why we're raising our standards so that we can build ourselves up to the people that are going to be able to sacrifice in the give and take relationship of outcomes, right? To sacrifice in order to get the return that we're looking for. So strength and honor, onward and upward. Y'all know what I mean when I say get to that bag. If y'all don't know what I mean when I say get to that bag, I mean all the little things, and they're really big, but all the things that are going to accumulate, whether it's on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, yearly basis, all the things that are going to contribute to aligning us with our overall goal of pursuing purposeful abundance and making the impact on the world that we want to make, which we like to call our personal legend. Healthcare should not be a privilege. Vons, I'm gonna agree with you on this. It should be a responsibility that you take on to make sure you are the healthiest person that you can be, especially based on your financial situation. If somebody's not financially in a great situation and you can't afford to, pay for certain things healthcare related, then you need to make sure that you are among the healthiest. So, okay, it's not a privilege, it's a responsibility, a personal responsibility. A personal responsibility that comes with, if you get injured, you can't just rely and cry to the government. That you have to be responsible enough to do the things beforehand, hopefully, right? That are going to put you in a position to be able to pay and cover for some of these things that you may need. Or if you take credit, if you take it out on, take a loan out, whatever it is, you are responsible for paying those things back. I don't know. Or I don't know. I guess, or you can look at it your way. Either way, appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Y'all know what it is. I shall see y'all soon. I guess Friday, maybe before then. But we'll be popping up videos throughout the week. On that note, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.